Last time we were discussing the message तू ऊंच अथाह अपार अमोला, तू साचा साहिब दास तेरा गोला, तू मीरा साची ठकुराई नानक बल बल जावणिया। And the message was, you are greater than the greatest, and you are unlimited. Uch means the highest. Atha means something that cannot be perceived by the physical senses. Atha, apar. Apar means which is beyond the approach of the intellect, brain, logic, imagination, thinking power. Amola means there can be no value that can be assigned to you. Observe this thing. Whatever is in this creation, the values are determined by the humanity. Isn't it amazing that you can take 2 feet worth of cloth and tie around the neck of a man and charge him $100? The cloth might only cost you a dime. Who determined this? That a particular tie should cost this much. Humanity does. Shorter the bikini, more expensive it is. Who determines that? It's certainly not the cloth. And there is no much design either. So where is the value coming from? Human brain. Supply and demand. So if you try to put these things into a logic, a diamond is a converted form of carbon. An ordinary charcoal. If it is an ordinary charcoal which was left in a mine under a certain pressure and temperature, and it's changed its look, that's all. Just change its look. Fundamentally, it is still carbon. But you wouldn't pay the same price for a charcoal than the diamond. That is why the word amola. Everything has its price. Both price and its value are determined by a human mind. So how is it possible that a limited thing can put a value on the unlimited thing? It's an oxymoron. A limited intellect, intelligence, knowledge, information can only relate to the limited thing. But since he is unlimited, or for Asha, she is unlimited, nobody can put a value on it. Amolla. Mool literally means the price. Anybody wants to describe the difference between price and value? Want to take a shot? What's the difference? At least you know they are not the same thing. Right?
Price is what we decide on something, but value is...
Value has to do with the intrinsic emotional attachment with it. And price has to do with the marketability. Most of the time these things happen. I mean, you particularly can relate with that, that if you say, let this painting go to the buyer, and the seller might say, no, wait a minute. This is too valuable for me. It has years of memory attached. I wouldn't sell it for millions. That's a value. For him, the creative energy, there's neither a value nor a price. Why not? The first three letters had described it. Tum uj, atha, apar, amola. Notice these are negative words. They are not positive words. Why? What he is cannot be described. But what he is not can be hinted. That's the beauty. That's why whenever somebody is talking of the creative energy, they always say, he has no form. He is formless. He is unborn. No shape, no form, no human characteristic that we can relate with. Okay, fine, you have said all these things, then what is he? Cannot be described in positive terms. The language fails, you just surrender, you give up. Even those who have experienced it cannot describe it. You can start with the known history from the Old Testament, where the story says Moses is facing something, and that something is talking back. But he cannot describe it. And he actually, in that parable, in the story, he questions this energy and say, when I go down to talk to the people, what shall I say? Who I met? And the answer is, just tell them, I am that I am, said so. That's it. You cannot describe. Anybody who is giving you a portrait of somebody sitting on the ninth cloud with a long beard and maybe few horns growing out and a long robe is actually taking you for a ride literally. There is no such thing. It's a pure creative energy. Ever since it has been creating, and it is creating now as we speak. It's not done. It's not a finished task. Creativity never ends. Once you get these things in your heart, mind you, I'm not talking about the brain. Brain is a custodian of information, that's it. It's just a data storage. It's a computer. You work on a file and you store it away. And when you need it, you pull the file back again and start working on again. That's how the brain works. That's how the memory works. Just as computer has on and off switch, the brain has exactly the switches the same way. What a biologist will say, the neurons are firing and connecting here and disconnecting there. Either they are connected or they are not, that's it. Either value 0 or value 1. This subject is not for the computer. Computer can help you to formulate some of the construction of your words, use of language, and that's it. Everything else is experience. You have to feel it. You have to experience it. But how do you experience? You first have to let go of the brain power. Most difficult thing to do, because your I, your identity, your ego is associated with that intellect. Your identity does not exist without that information. If you don't believe me, try to describe yourself without reaching the information here. Describe yourself. Who are you? What will you say? I'm a woman, hear me roar.
I'm a woman being.
Are you? Today, science can change any part of the body and make it into anything else. Then would you be a woman? And if you're not that, what would you be then? I am just one thing. If my father had named me Hiraram, would I be any different? Just a label. Try to describe yourself without accessing the data. I am a nurse. You could have been an engineer as well. It's just the information stored in your brain which says this is how to take care of the patient. To know him, to experience him, requires you to free yourself of the bondage of I am. Descartes did the most damage to the human consciousness when he said, because I think, that's why I am. No, thinking does not make you. That was a brainwashing of the 18th, 19th century, which we are paying the price even today. You are who you are because he is speaking through you, listening through you, breathing through you. If he stops this function, then who are you? Think about it.
Dead.
Lying on that bed in the hospital, when that which was breathing flies away, you are still the same nurse. You are the same woman. You are the same Karen. But are you? Unless you can grasp these in your heart, there should be a feeling. feeling cannot be argued about. They cannot be discussed. They cannot be reasoned about. And I use this example all the time. Every teenager has this argument with the mother. Mama, I'm bringing a boy to meet you. And the mother says, what do you see in him? Mom, I love him. What argument would you give now? How would you break this thing to that girl who's saying, I love him? Because she's not talking from here, she's talking from here. You are asking the question from here. The reply is coming from here. How would they coincide? They cannot. Same way, in the world of spirituality, in the world of mysticism, arguments have no place. A very simple understanding. Very simple. Nothing complicated. If you get that, you get to the next stage, which is, Tu sacha sahib das tera gola. Once I accept that, now I am ready to create a relationship with that creative energy. And what is that relationship? Tu sacha sahib. You are the true one. Das, the slave. You are the master. I am the slave. But you cannot create this relationship if you say, hey, I am somebody. Who do you think you are talking to? We use this term all the time. Don't you know who you are talking to? There's a beautiful story in the life of Alexander. When he was growing up, he used to go and sit with Socrates, who was the Greek philosopher of his time, a mystic. Two famous mystics from Greece were Pythagoras and Socrates. And the philosopher of that time, the intellectual par excellence, was Plato. They were all contemporary, but totally different approach. One day, Alexander went to meet Socrates, and he was just goofing around on the beach. He didn't pay any attention. Eventually, Alexander got mad with him and said, I have been waiting here for you, and you're not paying any attention. Don't you know who I am? Socrates went into his pouch and pulled a map of that city and asked him, where do you live? He says, what do you mean, where do you live? This whole city belongs to me. Say, okay, where is your house on there? So he points, this is my palace. Good. He folds the map and puts the map of the Greece. And he says, where is your city? And now there is a small little block. And so where is your palace? You say, you nuts. You can't see the palace on that map. I said, okay. Now he pulls the map of the world. Can you point me your city? Say, you mocking me. The city is invisible. It's too small. He says, Alexander, I have just shown you 3 maps. I have not pulled the map of the cosmos. Where do you think you will be when I show you the cosmos? Take these maps as a gift from me. Anytime this question bothers you, don't you know who I am? Open the map and find yourself. This is how a mystic teaches you. What is your significance? Don't you know who I am? Where is this coming from? Coming from this information. The one who is operating from the heart would never say that. Only logic will say that. Feeling would never say that. Because feelings are similar. Intellects are different by design. Once you have that feeling, you can create the relationship of a master and a slave. And when you do that, "Tu meera sachi thakurai nanak bal bal jamanaya," then you just fall in love. But that love is such, you would be rising by the hour. You know, falling in love is not such a nice thing to do when you can rise. Ever thought of why we say falling in love? Because the entire energy is being pulled toward the gravity. You are falling. But when you start loving him, you start rising. Bal bal jamanaya. Now you surrender. Now your spiritual journey has started. And when the spiritual journey starts, here is the process. The next hymn describes that process. It says, "Nit nit day samaalee-ai." Nit nit. Every moment of your breathing life on the planet. Nit nit. No exception. And what are you doing, nit nit? Day samaalee-ai. Day literally means the lover. Samaalee literally means you take it in the heart. The emphasis on the heart is because the heart never stops. It started working when the fetus was only 6 weeks old. And it hasn't stopped yet, and it will not stop till the end of the journey. Heart works when you are sleeping. Heart works when you are awake. It doesn't matter in which state you are. Heart works. That is why it is being pointed out, nit nit day samaalee-ai. Just as the heart beats all the time, you bring the memory of that lover forever into you. You start experiencing it. You start nurturing that feeling. You just become pregnant with that thought, and it just starts growing and growing and growing. And you hide it. You don't show it to the world because it is your personal memory. You do not need to compare with anybody. You do not need to contrast with anybody, because your way of loving may not be necessarily the same as somebody else's way of loving. It usually is not. Your lover is unique to you. The creative energy never repeats itself. The way the creative energy appeared to Buddha is not the way the energy appeared to Jesus, or to Moses, or to Muhammad. or to Rama or Krishna or Nanak, they all had their unique experience. So would you if you get to that stage. That is why one of the biggest mistake made by the humanity is to fight over, argue over, what is God? Amazing. When you come to think of it, if God is one, what are you arguing about? What are you fighting about? If Jews are calling him Yahweh, it's the same God. If Jesus is calling him my Father, it's the same God. If Muhammad is calling him Allah, it is the same God. What the hell are you fighting about? You keep on declaring there is only one God. La ilaha illallah. Then where is the debate? So where is the debate coming from? Right from here. Right from that ego. Right from that brain power. My concept of, yes, there is only one God, but my concept of that one is better than your concept of the one. You either accept it or get ready to kill or die. That's not the language of a lover. Killing and dying. Lover says, I am okay, you are okay. Ego says, I am okay, you are not. A masochist says, you are okay, but I am not. A lover will always say, I am okay, you are okay. There will never be a discussion, an argument, a fight, a debate. There will never be. How do you get there? Nit nit day samaalee-ai, mool naam visaaree-ai. Mool, the essence. Forget about all the decorative language and the words that are put in the books. Just go to the essence. What is the essence? He is the creator, he is the sustainer, and he is the destroyer. Or in modern term, you can call it a recycling. That's the essence. Three aspects of life: be born, grow and live, and then move on. All three belong to one. Well, how is this possible? You making sense? As a scientist, you can tell me that he created the gases, and he created the planet, and he created the galaxies, and he created the black holes. That is okay to accept. But it is not okay to accept that he creates, he sustains, and he destroys. How logical. No, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, that is the ultimate reality. He creates, he sustains, and he destroys. And they are not three different things. A human cannot even see a coin completely. When you are looking at one face of the coin, the other is hiding right behind it, and you have no clue what the other face is till you turn it around. The moment you turn it around, the other one disappears. That's the limit of senses. How can you perceive the entire creator? You cannot even see a coin properly, simultaneously, at the same time. How arrogant you can get, how vain you can get that I am going to find him. I'm going to see him. I'm going to control him. And what is the argument? Look, 100 years ago, you didn't know that you could go to the moon. Now we have put you on the Mars. Someday we'll find you too. It's a matter of time. What a false notion. A limited is challenging the unlimited. Just get to the essence. Forget everything else around it. Mool na mano visaaree-ai. Mool means the essence. Visaaree means to forget about it, to put it away out of your memory. Get it into the heart and keep it the way the heart is beating. The memory should be beating with it. If you get to that stage, santaa sangat paa-ee-ai jee-o panth na jaa-ee-ai, then you will find a miracle happening around you, which is you will start attracting the like-minded company. We know it here, right? We want to form a bridge club and suddenly 4 or 5 people start getting it. I want to play, I want to play. You just attracted the energy that plays bridge. You start creating that vibes from within you, and you will attract the energy, which is santaa sangat paa-ee-ai. Sant means those who are on the path. Sangat means the company. You suddenly start converging into that type of energy. And what does that do? jeevee-ai panth na jaa-ee-ai. When you are on that path, it starts freeing you from the bondage of time and space. Ask any lover. Can they keep track of time when they are together? Why? The clock is the same. Because the internal clock is not the same as the external clock. Humanity has 2 types of clocks. One clock is that's on the wall, but one clock is that's inside the heart. When you are happy, it speeds up. Every one of us has the experience of going to pick up somebody at the airport. Ever notice how many times you look at the watch? Why? The time has slowed down. The internal clock has slowed down because of the anxiety. When is it coming? When is it coming? When is it coming? You know the clock, you know the time that you still have half an hour to sit there and wait. But within that half hour, you will check the clock 30 times. Every minute. And then you slap yourself. What am I doing? I'm crazy. I just saw it. But without you knowing, suddenly your hand will go up and you'll go, oh, this is to the sun. You free from the bondage of time when you are in love with him. Because that's the beauty of love. Lovers cannot keep track of time. Impossible. jeevee-ai panth na jaa-ee-ai. tosaa naam tayray kuleh laagai gaal jee-o. Tosaa literally means the food. Anybody who wants to lose the weight quickly fall in love. Anybody who wants to gain, start hitting. Hating and anger will send you to the ice cream box quicker than just loving. You don't feel hungry, you don't need the food, you are just in that timeless space. Imagine if this happens between two lovers at the physical dimension, what will happen if you are in the spiritual dimension? Have you ever seen a fat yogi? Well, why not? They eat. The bondage of time and space. So what is their food? Tosaa harka naam le. Just his memory. Harka naam. Just his name. And that could be anything for you. You are comfortable with sitting here and say, Allahu, Allahu, Allahu. It's okay, go ahead. Oh. It's okay, go ahead. Wrong. Go ahead. The point is, are you in his memory? Or is he in your thoughts? That is the key. It becomes your food. Food for what? Not for your body, but for your soul. You start feeding your soul. And my dear, there is no university or college that's going to teach you that. They will teach you how to feed your body. They will teach you how to earn money and how to use money and all of that. But there is not a single college or university who tells you how do you feed your soul. The humanity is very comfortable in starving the soul. And we do it deliberately, knowingly. And we declare to the world, I just don't have the time. I'm not done with taking care of my body, how I'm going to take care of my soul? If I've taken care of my body, I have now to take care of my spouse's body. Now I have to take care of my children's body. Now I have to take care of my friend's body. And on. Only taking care of the physical. Nothing to do with the internal. Everything external. In order to learn to feed the internal, you need a group like this. There are no other colleges, universities, institutions, even parents. If a child goes to a parent and a parent has no idea, what are they going to say? Sonny, I am telling you what I learned from my father. And he never talked about it. End of discussion. Tosaa harka naam le tere kuleh na laagai gaal jee-o. Then you start becoming worthy of your birth. Because the physical birth in a human form has only one objective. Because it is the physical body that allows you to follow this process. Human body is the only one which has this capability. No other body has this capability. So if you are in a human form and you want to be the pride of your family, kuleh literally means the family. It says, kuleh na laagai gaal jee-o. Then nobody will say, look what kind of child these people raised. But if you get this, suddenly people will say, blessed is the mother, blessed is the father, who brought such a child into this world. Why is Maryam's name so valuable to the history of humanity? Why? Because she was responsible for carrying that child, giving birth to that child, and raising that child. So she has become worship worthy because of the son she raised. But there are a gazillion of mothers over there, nobody remembers them. So why isn't Mary being remembered? Because of raising a mystic, a spiritualist. जो सिमरंदे साइए नरक न सेई पाए तत्ती वाओ न लग गई जिन मन वुठा आए जियो. Those who follow on these footsteps and remember him, simranday. Simrana is a second stage of meditation. First stage is the job, and the second stage is put that job on the autopilot. That's called simrana. That's the second stage. Just like when you learn driving, it's herky-jerky. Then you learn driving and it's going smooth. Then you get more confidence to put it on the cruise control. When the world goes on the cruise control, that is going on automatically without you even trying to it, that's simrana. Jo simrande saaN-ee. Sai means the ultimate creator. Those who remember him, they are freed from the bondage of positive and negative. Narak na save. Narak means the negative. Narak na seyi paenge. They are freed from the bondage of the negative. Tatee vaa-o na lag gai. Then the ups and downs of the life, cold air and hot air. Tatee literally means hot air. They come and go. But you are free from it. You are beyond it. You have transcended the pain and the frustration. When Sarmat was being amputated, he looked at the executioner and tells him, you better watch how you swing your sword, because I am going to watch it. You observe the cutting. I will observe being cut. I want to see how it feels. How can anybody say that? Because now he is beyond the pain and the pleasure. That bondage has been transcended. Why? Because there is no attachment with the body. Very high state of meditation, where you free yourself from the body. It is that state being mentioned here. Tatee vaa-o na lag gai. The hot and the cold come and go, but they don't affect you. Just as you are free from the bondage of time when you are in love, you are also free of pain and pleasure. Both. सोई sundar sohnay saaDhsang jin baihnay har tan jinni sanji-aa sei gambhir apar jiyo. Those are the blessed ones who have taken this to their heart. Soi sundar sohnay literally means beautiful, pleasant. saaDhsang jin baihnay, those who look for the company of those who are on the path. Har tan jinni sanji-aa. A beautiful metaphor. You can spend hours and hours on simple things like this. Sanji-aa literally means to collect, to hold. And what do the human hold? Wealth, money, gold, possessions. That becomes their possession. So, but there is another type of possession, which is that rahaa-o, memory of his name. Har means him, dhan means the collection. Those who collect that memory and save it. Har tan jinni sanji-aa sei gambhir apar jiyo. They have really gone to the depth of this life journey. Now, why would somebody say like that? Because ordinary human is not living a better life or a higher life than an ordinary animal. And I don't mean to any disrespect to anybody sitting here. I'm saying, look at the process. We get up in the morning, the animal gets up in the morning. We eat, the animal eats. We work, the animal works. We sleep, the animal sleep. We reproduce, the animal reproduce. We raise our youngs, the animal raise our youngs, their youngs. What's the difference? If we are going to be living just like the animals do, then why have this body? This body had another function which we are not performing, which is to learn to love him. Animals can't, so you cannot blame them. We have that capacity. We are aware of our super consciousness. You can call it a spirit, you can call it God energy, it doesn't matter what name you give. You can call it a soul, a super soul, a meta soul. Come up, whatever words you want to come up. There is something in us which is not available to the animal world. And we need to do justice to that. And that you can only do when you start meditating on his name, remembering him, and making that memory part of your daily existence. Har tan jinni sanji-aa sei gambhir apar jiyo. Gambhir means they have gone to the depth of this life. Why are we here? What extra things we need to do? And they start doing it. Har ame aur rasaa-in peevee-ai muh dithe jan ke jeevee-ai kaare sab sawarla nit poojo gur ke pav jiyo. So for this evening, the message, the concluding message, har ame aur rasaa-in peevee-ai. Start on the process. Start enjoying. Train your mind and body system to sit in his memory. And the mind is a monkey, it's going to revolt. The moment you sit down, it's going to start dancing up and down. It's going to bring the thoughts which you have never thought of. But don't be discouraged. It's an old habit. You need to break it. You need to train that. Bring it back. When it runs out, bring it back. It runs out again, bring it back. It will behave like a stubborn child, and you behave like a determined parent. I am going to teach you to sit down and listen to this word I am repeating. You're going to sit here, and you're going to say, no, I'm going shopping. And you're going to bring it back politely and lovingly. Come back here. Now is not time to go shopping. Now is the time to remember him. Har ame aur saaN peevee-ai mu dithe jan ke jeevee-ai. Those individuals are the blessed one. They are the honored one.